We black.
Yes, we are black and back. Both East Coast native, living in California. He's in LA, I'm in San Diego. Two somethings in a pod.
If you came for serious shit, and if you came to be educated, you came to the wrong fucking place, buddy guy.
I feel like a real influencer today. Here in my garage. You know this guy right here?
It's the boy. In real life.
Oh,
We out here.
real life, we out here.
We out here.
We got some things in the same place.
Hey, something's in the same place.
Something's boys.
Boy, Long Beach, beautiful day.
Long Beach, beautiful day. About to get that fresh, bored, and hungry.
Got some new shit, make the block high. Brand new chick who can pop lock. Brand new whip, I cannot stop. I cannot stop. Drop top, I love it when she take her top off. I love it.
So you guys got 4 days?
No, sir.
You're not rich guys?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Give us some time, man.
How was the first bite?
First bite was amazing. This shit right here is actually good. I thought it was gonna be trash, actually.
Yo, did you get the mutant or the...
I got the mutant because he makes fun of me, but I don't eat beef.
Okay, I got the mutant too.
Oh, fuck that. See?
No, hard. I got the full combo. I was like, yo,
Dog. Bitch, I'm a boss like Top Dog. Somebody get top on the phone. Yes, I am back in my zone. We go to the studio.
real like you weren't holding the meat before.
So I call this shit homegrown. Killing my demons over this.
At the time, I was a creative director on a brand called Weed.
The brand was called Weed?
The brand was called Weed, but they were alcohol brand with no weed in it.
No weed, no oils, no nothing.
Go figure that out. Anyways, so that led, and then they had this dope gallery up on La Cienega, and I walked into the gallery like, Super Bowl last year, and his art was all over the gallery. I was like, holy shit, this is my neighbor's gallery. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So we met from there, and then at that point, he'd been working on sharks for over 20 years, and he had these characters that he developed, and here's a character right there.
LA Sharks wearing sunglasses and with these ironic smiles.
And so they were, it was kind of satire, satirical, they'll eat you up and spit you out, Hollywood style. And so he thought the sharks would be good for NFTs. I thought the sharks would be good for NFTs. You're in the space, NFTs were growing. And so then we figured that we needed a cause partner or someone to work with to give the sharks a reason to be. And so that was where the cause. And then from there, we figured out, we found another partner to commission an initial project. And then we developed our first 10,000 shark project and based it all around this character. And Andre hand drew all 15, and we did 175 traits, and then that blew out into 10,000 sharks. And as a result, we were able to partner with Beneath the Waves, and that was the conservation angle of it. And Beneath the Waves has been around since 2013, and they're just an amazing organization that's working to change the ocean by 2050, and do it by saving the sharks and conserving basically the ocean bed and all the grass around the Bahamas. So we use art to open people up and tell a story about conservation. But in the meantime, like, Andre is a very accomplished painter. He did Elton John's performance jackets back in the 80s. He did Bette Midler's album covers. He did Cheap Trick album cover. He did 260 shows of The Tonight Show, stage, all painted. He did the Yo MTV Raps basketball game back in the day, The Floor. So he's been very well known and accomplished as an artist, and so OG in terms of painting, and so it was an honor to work with such like an amazing painter and help bring him on board to Web3. And then we created the Sharktales brand, and then now working to basically build our community. So check us out at Twitter, Sharktales Art. You can go to sharktalesart.com, and that has a list of all of our links. And basically now we're working to expand the project and bring people in, such as yourselves and others that are interested in, not only the art aspect, but the conservation, but also the communal aspect of it. And then now we're going to start to be going to festivals and partnering with a couple other artists to do a 3D shark installation. And this installation is like black light reflective. You wear 3D glasses, and it really kind of is fully immersive, and then we'll be turning that into NFTs. We'll have VR or AR experience and overlays, so it's gamified, and then it's edutainment. And that concept of edutainment actually came out of the 80s. Like I learned that from Public Enemy. Like my roots are on East Coast and music. And so using the lessons that I've learned from mentors and different colleagues we've worked with, and what I've learned in hip hop, and bringing that to the visual space as a way to create bridges. And eventually we want to have underwater metaverse, or in the metaverses, like where the water is, we want that space, right? If everyone else is going above ground, we want to build out some stuff underwater, but then also be able to use that to like educate kids that'll never be able to see the ocean or partake in the ocean. I grew up learning about the Great Barrier Reef. I'll probably never see the Great Barrier Reef, and quite frankly, it's almost half dead. So that's crazy, right? Like we're never going to be able to experience that. I'm never going to be able to get out there, and so let's bring that into the metaverse, right? And so in the meantime, we're going to do live experiences in different festivals. We're working with Debbie Cable 3D. We'll be getting into Lightning in a Bottle, getting to NFT NYC. We're part of Sue Young's VizMesh project, and shout out to him and his team and that whole project. And they created a whole virtual Web3 gallery, and we have access to a billboard in Times Square on June 20th at 9 p.m. So mark that, that's going down. And then from there's a couple other bigger events, and just triangulating between New York, LA, and Miami as a way to just build community across those three areas, and then globally as well. And just really trying to, make some good happen, along with just, with the whole NFT and the art thing. Let's impact the world and help make some change.
Fuck yeah.
So thank you guys for your interest, and I think you start looking at plastic waste, and it's just looking across here, and it's a part of our lives, but the amount of plastic that we have now is going to increase by 3 times. The amount of plastic that's created here in California is just crazy. So we do have to start thinking about these things, and I think Web3 gives us the tools and the excitement, and hopefully the dollars and cryptocurrency and value to impact and bring people on board. So I think there's a lot of things everyone's trying to do, but I don't know. I try to keep it simple: make cool shit, have fun, do good, and so
make cool shit, have fun, do good. I love it. Yeah, we'd love to hear some of your story, Andre. All the great things you've done, just how you're bringing with art you've already done all throughout your life into Web3, but kind of like where you kind of started from the beginning and where you are now.
Well, again, I'm totally I'm a newbie at this, but I consider myself to be a multimedia artist, and I've worked on lots and lots of different types of platforms. I do lots of murals. I've done album covers, stage sets. corporate logos. I did. The music business has been a big part of my career. So but then I've done my first big international credit was Elton John. I designed these costumes for him, and with this one piano outfit he wore in Central Park. It's already 1980 that this happened, but it was still his biggest single audience. He had 500,000 people there, and it's all on YouTube. It's absolutely timeless. It totally holds up 40 years later, I must say. But at any rate, so Bette Midler, Quincy Jones, the Rolling Stones. I've worked with a lot of musical people, and I've been developing characters over the years. And the shark character is I've been developing for a little over 20 years now. And so last year when I started, just by being alive and looking around and seeing these apes and seeing these other different characters as the NFTs with all these animals, I think, my God, what's this animal farm thing going? So I thought, wow, I've got sharks. So why not sharks? And then luckily enough, it's just one of those things where, and as a freelancer, I never know where the next check is going to come from. So but I've been really, really lucky that way, that opportunity always seems to knock. But then it's always about being prepared when opportunity knocks. That's really the whole secret. But you got to be ready. And so I just thought, well, man, this shark thing could have some kind of presence as an NFT. And we met, and one thing led to another, and we I don't know if you said, but we got the commission that came in. That was like really right out of the gate. So we jumped way over, because I've been talking in these rooms and things, and people doing an NFT. There's a lot of preparation and what's the word? Getting it forewalling it or something. And we didn't really do any of that, because we got this commission right away, and then that came out. And so we're kind of backtracking now. But it's been a fantastic adventure, and I think that for me anyway, these sharks, the best platform so far, and I've had them on murals, I've had them on billboards, electronic billboards even. But I think that screen, the monitor screen, is like the best platform for them. They pop out, and I want these my characters. They're bottom line, they're funny. I think they're funny. They have attitude. Now, when we did the 10,000 I forget what it's called. Not progressive, but that project. Because I had these white sharks, and they're supposed to be great white sharks, and I thought, from the whole the swimming with the sharks, the whole Hollywood thing, the agents and all that stuff. But when I get into 10,000 sharks, we had kind of a consensus that too many white sharks. Just too many white sharks. And I understood that. I mean, it was never a racial thing with me or anything like that. I just thought of them as being white sharks, and I liked the idea that they didn't have any color on them. Just so that they could be just kind of minimal or something. But when you got into the 10,000 sharks, the 12,000, no, couldn't be all white with sunglasses. So that's when we put color, and there's the tiger sharks, and there's these. So I got all kinds of different patterns, and then I took the sunglasses off of a lot of them too, so that they had eyeballs.
Oh, wow!
And once you get eyeballs, once you put eyes on characters, it's a whole different game, because then you get the whole facial thing. So you don't have that with the sunglasses. But like I did a Bored Ape just yesterday. I put together a Bored Ape and a shark together, and my shark is like looking right at the ape, and the ape is kind of like looking. So there's between the eyes there is a connection going on. So this whole project again is it's morphing as it naturally goes along organically. And my partner here, Raven Dave, he's my technical partner. I think he's fantastic, and everything that I've in all the rooms and going into the rooms, it seemed like the biggest advice that anybody had if they're starting an NFT as an artist is to get with a partnership with a technician, with a technical person. So I am listening to this, and I already did this again just by chance or whatever.
I agree.
But I really think that there has to be somebody involved technically, because it's not easy. The first part is setting it up, which is not that easy. But the bigger part, I think, is the marketing of it. After it's up, you still have to get an audience. You still have to get people. You still have to bring a community together. That takes a lot of work and a lot of effort, man. Even more than the artwork, I think. You know what I mean? It really does. Yeah. Because I find that part of it, the marketing part of the NFT thing, it's kind of analog. It's the same. It's a show. You got a show. You got to get an audience for that show, and it's the same story from Greeks. Going all the way to the Greeks, but now it's just a world stage now. So that's one of the things I love about it, is that you don't. It's not a brick and mortar thing. So once that goes on the air, it's around the world, 24/7. And just as a numbers game, that really interests me. What's possible with that? And then that I've always, as a kid, I've always had a thing about the TV, about the screen, about the light coming from that TV. I've always had this thing that it's like hypnotic or something, that it brings people in. And I think it does. There's something about that light. And now with computers and all that, it's just that much more. Everything kind of looks important. It kind of democratizes, because everything looks. That's why it's getting really hard, with miscommunication and all that. Yeah. That's a big issue. But it's all about unintended consequences, because really, everything is all new. The computers are 30 years old, 35 years old, really. Yeah. So anyway, that's why it's a little bit of my story. So I'm just happy to find this new medium. Happy to find Dave and Andy, of course, and looking to move forward.
There we go.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming on the vlog.
I decided when I was a teenager I wanted to see the world. So I've lived in lots of different places. I lived on the streets when I was 15 in England. I lived on the streets of Paris when I was 17. And so for me, homeless youth is something that's kind of close to the heart, because I was one of them once. So I decided when I was living in New York, I decided to go looking for the American dream. So I left, and the original idea was that I was going to spend 6 months hitchhiking around the country carrying this banner saying, looking for the American dream. And I flew out from New York to the Bay Area and went up and down the West Coast, and realized fairly quickly I'm not 18 anymore, and I don't really want to be carrying 2 really heavy bags around the country. I'm a fat fuck now. I used to be a skinny bastard, but I'm a fat fuck now. So I ended up buying an RV, and I now live in a 30-foot RV, and I've been making this book and documentary about the American dream. And now I've incorporated NFTs into that, where I've created a nomadic NFT treasure hunt, where every month as I drive across the country, I'll drop 30 geotagged NFTs on the first of every month, which will be on an auction that will expire the day before the next auction starts. One of those geotagged NFTs will contain buried treasure, where you have to go to the physical location where I photographed the banner, and there will be a box there, and you dig up the box, and that will contain a code that will release buried treasure. So it's a very physical manifestation of this digital world, because you have to go to that location. And a percentage, probably somewhere between 20 and 30% of the funds raised through the nomadic NFT treasure hunt will go to taking homeless youth off the street with an organization I've partnered with out of Chicago. And to put them into permanent supportive housing for 1 year. And permanent supportive housing means that they will, not only is their rent paid for a year, but they get to do courses teaching them how to behave in an interview, how to look after their money, how to basically function in society, and teach them how to do that. Because we all we learn by people teaching us and by making mistakes. So that's kind of the back end of it. That's the social agenda element of it, is that I want to take homeless youth off the street. Because I know from my own experience that if you can get off the streets when you're young, you can actually make your life something extraordinary. You know, and I've done it. You know, like I found a camera at a bus stop when I was 23 and decided when I was 27 to prove it was possible to make a living from taking pictures in 1 year, having never done so before. And I've made my living from taking pictures ever since.
That's badass. That's real badass.
So if I can do it anybody, because I went to 13 schools, you know, I don't have any. I left school when I was 16 with no qualifications. I don't have any kind of qualification. I worked in factories and building sites when I left school. You know, the idea of making a living from being creative, if somebody would have said to me when I was 25, oh, you're going to do, I would have been like, yeah, sounds about. I don't know how that would happen to someone like me, but that sounds amazing. You know, but it's called, the project is called More American Dreams, and that the acronym for that is MAD. So I'm on the MAD voyage because RVs are known as land yachts. So I'm on a voyage across the country looking for the American dream.
Looking for the American dream. I love to hear it. I love to hear it. And then, do you have a website or anywhere they can follow you at?
Yeah, like on Clubhouse and stuff, I'm more. On Twitter, I'm more images. There is a More American Dreams website, but I do need to update that. Otherwise, you can follow me on Instagram, More American Dreams. And in fact, MORE is an acronym for Ministry of Random Events. Okay, so the full title is in fact Ministry of Random Events American Dreams. And it's all stuff like, there was a guy an hour out of Portland who towed a Boeing 727 jet into the forest and turned it into his house. So I'm looking for things like that, because what interests me, really, this project is about, here, let me help you. You're a young man, I know it's hard for you. For me, it's not so much necessarily about the American dream, but it's about people pursuing their dreams, because I realized I'm a little bit older than you, which is why I've got white in my beard and you don't. But what I realized in my 30s, late 30s, early 40s, if we don't follow our dreams, they can turn into nightmares later in life. And the people who have midlife crises are the people who didn't do what they wanted to do with their lives. So it's really important, if you have a dream, follow that dream. And if you have friends who have dreams, encourage them to follow their dreams. Because at the end of the day, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, you can go and do something else. But you have to make the effort. Because if you don't make the effort, you'll get to 40 and you'll look at yourself in the mirror and go, what the fuck have I done? You know, so always follow your dreams. And that's really what the project is about. It's about encouraging people to follow their dreams. Because increasingly in this homogenous society, people don't. People can't. They got to pay the bills. You got to stay alive. No. Go and live. Live an adventure. We have a choice. We can live with a sense of fear or a sense of adventure, and look for things that are going to improve your life. Like whatever you look for is what's going to grow. Whatever you feed is what's going to grow. So look for the constructive. I'm not interested in looking for problems. I'll deal with them if they arise. But so many people stop themselves from doing things because this might happen. Yeah, it might not. You don't know until you try.
Yeah.
So always follow your dreams.
Follow your dreams. So that's exactly what the fuck we plan to do too.
Boom.
Boom. Thank you so much for being on, Andy.
No worries. Yeah, I'll give you one of these. So I built that. That's me standing in the middle. That's real size.
Oh shit, that's just big as hell.
That's 30 foot long and 20 foot high.
Well, we're out here just bored and hungry. with one of the members of the team, Wally, one of the icons out here. You know, we wanted to know because you're in charge of the vegan half of everything, right?
Yeah, so I'm part of Belief Burgers. We're part of the operating team of Bored and Hungry, and we also run all the vegan plant-based options at the restaurant.
Awesome. And then how did you find out about NFTs? How'd you get into the space?
I've been kind of like following crypto art, like NFT art, since like the end of 2020. And that kind of got me into NFTs and PFPs, and it's been like kind of deep diving in Web3 for maybe like the last year and a half or so. Yeah.
Do you own an ape?
Yeah, we got my business partner and I, we have a mutant. Yeah.
Nice. Do you have a project yourself that you plan on opening up at all?
Yeah, so we got a Friend's House. It's a creators collective, and then we also have a project called Food Fighters Universe. That's also with some of the owners of Bored and Hungry, and that will be the world's first Web3 restaurant group backed by NFTs. So that will be launched by Friend's House.
And then what was some of the inspiration for Friend's House? What was some of the process?
I mean, we actually had like a bunch of friends like that are before we were friends IRL. You know what I mean? So we created a Discord to kind of explore, you know, like some of our DeFi, DGen like exploration, some of the NFT stuff we were collecting, and just explore Web3, and it kind of organically grew into Friend's House, which is like merging with another like community, and that's kind of grown into like this like creators collective.
Dope. Yeah. And then, Wally, if everyone wanted to follow you and find out some more about you, Friend's House, and just Bored and Hungry and Belief Burgers, where will they find you at?
I'm at What's Up Wally on all platforms. Friend's House, FRENS House, Bored and Hungry. So,
Yeah, bro. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys coming out, man.
Thank you so much, man.